Hi, everybody, and welcome to another segment of AstrologyAnswers.com's weekly forecast. My name is Terrence Gardino. The week begins on Monday, June the 28th, and this is the last of all of the craziness from the eclipses starting at the end of May with Mercury in retrograde, that Saturn-Uranus squares. It's been an unstable, stressful time in the world and for many people. This is the last of this crazy period, so we can start calming down and getting back to a new normal. And I'll explain what you've got to be careful about, but we're in the last week of it. Let's start with Monday on the 28th of June. The moon is void, of course, as we start the day, meaning the moon's not making any aspects to other planets, so the energy is flat and unproductive. So you don't really want to initiate any kind of major new undertakings. Just keep doing what you've been doing. The moon will then enter into Pisces at 10:51 a.m. Pacific time for those next 2.5 days. So the public tone, Pisces, more compassionate, more sensitive. The moon will then cross over Jupiter, as it does every about 28 days. Jupiter is that planet of expansiveness and optimism, travel. This will be from mid-afternoon, 2, 3, 4 Pacific time. Great for just socializing and feeling optimistic. Great for traveling or making travel plans. Also, Jupiter is the planet of marketing, of publishing. And so it could be a great time to upload new content on your website. Tuesday, the moon continues in Pisces in around noon, early afternoon Pacific time. The moon will be in harmony with innovative Uranus. This brings a lot more excitement, gets us out of our ruts, try new things. But moon in Pisces can be very intuitive. And when it's favorable for Uranus, many of you might get some psychic hunches and, listen to your inner voice around early afternoon Pacific time. Around 8 p.m., 8 to 10 p.m., most of the world may already be sleeping, but 8 p.m. Pacific time, the moon, the emotional moon, will be at odds with rational Mercury. So you could be having dinner if you're still, up, and having conversations. That's the Mercury, which could get a little emotional. And so you might not be as clear and communications might be taking a left turn. But that's only for a couple of hours, and most of the world is sleeping. Maybe it's just you're having difficult dreams. On Wednesday, the 30th, in the early morning, 5:30, for those next couple of hours, 5:30 a.m. Pacific time, the moon is crossing Neptune. The moon's in Pisces, and Neptune is the planet that rules Pisces. This moon, Neptune, can be very compassionate, very creative and spiritual energies, very intuitive. By 10:30 a.m. Pacific time, the moon will be in harmony with Pluto. This could be this need to just really want to go deep with compassion, with conversation, might be a real interest in psychology, astrology, or introspection. But the moon, still being in Pisces, will go void of course at 10:40 a.m. Pacific time until 6:22 p.m. Pacific time, when the moon then leaves void of course and goes into more fiery, energetic Aries. But when the moon is void of course, and there it is for like 8 hours, it is like a mini Mercury in retrograde. It's just stay the course, just reflect, keep doing what you're doing. But it's really important not to initiate any kind of major new events or projects. Thursday, July the 1st, the moon in fiery, impulsive Aries is going to be in a difficult angle to the sun in Cancer. The bad news is we might be thrown off emotionally. The good news is it can help us wake up to our habits that are holding us back. So habits that are unconscious become more conscious. Maybe you are doing a bad habit that's hurting you, but now you're recognizing it. That's the good news, bad news. But what's more important is on July the 1st, Mars, that rules Aries, the moon's in Aries. There's a lot of this fire and ambition and drive. The Mars is going to be in a direct opposition or confrontation to restricted Saturn. Think of Mars as the fighter warrior driving really fast, and it slams up against a wall. That's Saturn. That could also represent authority figures, government figures, or Saturn are saying no to your desires. In general, this is a day where business could be really delayed and frustrated. Emotionally, it could create depression to anger, a lot of irritability and impatientness. So also on Thursday with the moon opposite Saturn, this is like coming to the last of all of this stressful energy. Just don't engage, try to detach, don't get too involved with important meetings. Don't have a lot of expectations. Just kind of relax and go with the flow. There's always a positive with every combination. Mars is all that drive and enthusiasm. It can be blocked by Saturn, or you can stay really focused and be very persevering, and you can accomplish a lot if you're only focused, usually just one goal, and you're just fully focused on accomplishing that one goal. Now, you'll still probably be with Mars Saturn exhausted, but you can, if you get distracted, you'll be depressed, you'll be frustrated. But if you stay really focused, you can accomplish your goals on Thursday. On Friday, the moon, still in impatient Aries, but also courageous, independent Aries, will be in harmony with communication Mercury. Now that'll be at 9 a.m. Pacific time. So you'll be feeling it like for 2 hours, around 9 to 11 a.m. Pacific time. Really good for communications, for meetings, for making decisions. Now, it could even be the day before with Mars with Saturn. You just felt like you hit a roadblock. There's ego disputes. You're really frustrated. On Friday, now that the moon's in harmony with Mercury, wherever you might have hit a wall with negotiations with your boss, your parent, talking to somebody, Friday, you can start resolving and reconciling whatever blocked you on Thursday. Saturday, however, the moon, 5:28 a.m. Pacific time, goes into stabilizing steady Taurus. By 9 a.m. to 11 a.m., it's going to be in harmony with Jupiter. So moon Jupiter, it's Saturday, going on a trip, wanting to hang out with friends and socializing, feeling really optimistic. However, Mars is now in a hard angle called a square to Uranus. Mars-Uranus all day Saturday it might be all this impulsive action. You have to be careful about ego disputes, careful about accidents, injuring yourself. The energy is really unstable and unpredictable. How you might channel this energy, first of all, the moon's in Taurus, so it does help us channel this energy so that it doesn't cause an accident or you don't go, start to blow up and scream at somebody. How you channel it is exercise, slow and steady exercise like yoga or stretching. On Sunday, the 4th, the 6 a.m. to noon Pacific time, the moon's in difficult angle to Saturn, Uranus, Mars, all these stressful planets. So the morning, Pacific time, starts rough, but then it calms down because the moon's still in Taurus. And that is the worst of all this craziness for these past 6 weeks. So before I sign off, I want to remind you I'm available for a 1-question offer for a nominal fee. You can find it by clicking on the tab that says Advisors on the front page, the home page of Astrology Answers, and scroll down until you find my name. I want to thank you for tuning in. I hope to see you next week with my next segment. Until then, be safe and well.